So I want to flip the script. Like, well, how did that happen?
How did that happen? Where's the time go?
I want to flip the script. No. That is very scary to me.
That was scary.
Smack dab in the middle of the urban community. Put that in your mental note. So you can get a picture in your head. You don't know what they're thinking. And it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
More than enough.
You sure, bro?
Did you hear me?
Say that again. I don't think I heard you.
I heard you.
You're going to have more than enough peace when you walk in being meek.
Tell me you're sure about this.
The ABCs of life.
The facts of life. The facts of life.
You are entering the Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa LaCon. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about sex. Hello, my urbanites. Guess what? You have landed in the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon. Welcome. Listen, as always, tonight we're going to have big fun. We're going to learn a couple of things because we're talking about self-care and moving in silence. What does that mean to move in silence? So I need you all to pay attention. I need you to like. I need you to share. I need you to tell your friends. I need you to tell your enemies. I need you to tell your frenemies that the doctor is on right now, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then later on, the audio podcast will be Spotify, Apple, Amazon, Samsung. So we will be right back after a word from our sponsor, Blessed Ministries Incorporated, the premier workforce development agency in New Jersey, as well as our missing person. So please stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, so we are back with our missing person segment. Listen, Stay right here. This is one of the most important segments of this episode. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when I come on live, I do a missing person. I was called to do this. This is very important. Don't drop off. Don't leave. This is important. This is someone's child, someone's loved one. And tonight is no exception. So who do we have with us? Unfortunately, we have Alexandria Chapman. Alexandria Chapman, she's been missing since April the 12th, 2024, and she's missing from Germantown, Tennessee. Listen, you folks from Germantown, Tennessee. If you're from anywhere near Tennessee, Kentucky, if you're from Memphis, if you're from Nashville, that's all I know about Tennessee. Those are the only places I've ever been. But listen, Alexandria Chapman, she is missing. She has been missing since April the 12th. And listen, what is today? April the 23rd. She's 15 years old. 15 years old. I need you to share this information. Please share this information. She's a female. Her race is Black. Her complexion is light. She is 4'9". She's 100 pounds. Her hair color is brown. Her hair length is shoulder length. And her eye color is brown. Listen, I need you all to really listen to what I'm getting ready to say. The location last seen. Alexandria was last seen on April 12th, 2024, around 2 p.m. in Germantown, Tennessee. But this is I would say, the most interesting aspect to this, her circumstances of her disappearance. You all can't see her circumstances of her disappearance on the screen, but I'm going to read this, okay? And I want you all to think about this is someone's loved one. According to authorities, Alexandria has a medical condition that may impair her ability to return safely without assistance. I'm going to repeat that. Let me repeat that. According to authorities, Alexandria has a medical condition that may impair her ability to return safely without assistance. So anyone with information, you can contact the Germantown Police Department, and their telephone number is area code 901-754-7222. I'm going to repeat that for my iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, Samsung, all of my audio podcasts. I need you to listen to this telephone number carefully. Area code 901-754-7222. Or you can get in contact with the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated, and their telephone number is 877-97-BAMFI, and BAMFI translates into 22634. Listen, please, I need you to share. I need you to like. I need you to put this out there. And then after the show, probably tomorrow, she's going to be on my YouTube channel, my YouTube page, Urban Tools for Change Network, in the shorts section. In the shorts section, you will see everything highlighted, just this segment. And then what I usually do, I usually share this to Facebook. And it's up to you all. It's up to you all. We're all in this together, okay? So let's not be selfish. It doesn't cost you a thing. How much does it cost you to share? How much? How much does it cost you to share? Because I guarantee it, if one of your friends, your neighbors, loved ones went missing, you would contact Dr. Lisa and say, Dr. Lisa, can you please put this on your show? And I would. And I would do the same thing. Share this information. Share, share, share. It's very important. All right, so let me tell y'all about something. I have been watching these shows, these crime shows, and these are based on true stories, okay? Based on true stories. So I saw a show, an episode of this man who was in the pool who had on a Rolex watch, and it was on Instagram. And he was in the pool and he looked very like he had a lot of money, like, he was really looked like he was really doing his thing. So these women, or actually this one woman, DM'd him on Instagram to hook up with him. Come to find out, they had awful intentions. They robbed him and they unalived him, or they killed him because they thought he had a lot of money. Come to find out, the Rolex was fake. His life was fake. Everything was fake that he had displayed on social media. And his life ended prematurely. And I say prematurely because he was in his 30s, I believe, 20s, 30s. His life ended prematurely because he did not move in silence. Now, what does it mean to move in silence? I said in my description, do not be a blabbermouth. Because some people have the tendency to be a blabbermouth. They may brag about what they have. They may brag about where they're going. They may brag about what they're doing. And trust me, everyone that hears that, they may not have good intentions for your life. And you have to be very careful who you share with and what you share. Because at the end of the day, there's some very evil people out there who want to be you. They want to have what you have because they don't understand their purpose, because they're not in their lane. They want to move over into your lane, knock you off of your lane to get what you have because you said what you have. Now, there is nothing wrong with discussing what you have, but you need to be careful who you share information with. Show the video of the lottery winner in Jamaica.
A Jamaican man does not want anyone to know he's a millionaire. And here's what he did. He won the Super Lotto in his home country and wore the mask here from the horror movie Scream to claim his $158.4 million.
That is hysterical.
You know? The man who simply identified himself as a Campbell waited 54 days to claim the ticket. Those who wear masks, fear they will be recognized and harassed on the streets.
Are you kidding?
And
yeah.
I mean,
this is perfect.
Look at that. He's
Kinda
got
scary,
gloves on.
but perfect.
that is hysterical.
Well, I mean,
I don't blame him.
No.
Because you have family members that come out the woodwork.
Way
friends.
down the line.
Right.
Who are
Listen, you best believe Dr. Lisa would wear a mask. Now, I don't know if it would be the Scream mask, but a paper bag or something. You best believe. Now, he's in Jamaica too. What? Wait a minute. First, $158 million. Do you realize how many roaches, how many rats, how many sycophants, how many users would come out of the woodwork to tap into what you have? And unfortunately, most of them will start with your family. Oh, Lord, my God. I'm telling you now, listen, you have to learn how to zip it. And you have to, one of the things that you have to do, you have to really pray for the spirit of discernment. Because oftentimes, if you don't pray for the spirit of discernment, you're going to say things to people that don't need to know that information. And remember, not everyone that smiles in your face, not everyone that pats you on the back, not everyone that says, "Oh, fantastic," not everyone that says those things in their heart, they believe it. They're waiting for your downfall. And if they could be a part of your downfall and believe that they can get away with it, they would. So when it comes to moving in silence, there are a couple of things that you have to think about. Number one, what is your intention in sharing this information? Are you doing it because it makes you feel better? Or are you doing it to belittle the other person? Or are you doing it because you really sincerely believe it is good news? What is your intention? And then that goes to the point of mindfulness. You need to be mindful. Why am I sharing this information? And my urbanites, you all know one of the most important questions that is asked of anyone is why. Because when you ask that question, why, you're really getting to the heart of the matter. What is the motivation? Why did you share this information with this person? Why are you sharing this information on Facebook? Why are you sharing this information on TikTok? Why are you sharing this information on Instagram? Who cares where you ate dinner or what you ate? Why are you sharing this information? What is your intention and putting that out there? And that again goes to mindfulness. Are you really doing it to encourage someone? Are you doing it to belittle someone? Are you doing it to puff yourself up? Why? Why are you sharing this information? That man, I guess it's a man, I don't know, he's built like a man, Mr. A. Campbell, who won $158 million. How many of you all, out of being joyous for the occasion, would just share the information with anybody and everybody? Because you really have to know, when it comes to discernment and mindfulness, the other person that's receiving the information. What is their intention? Because oftentimes, the person that you share the information with, they may have good intentions, but they may tell someone that does not have good intentions. So you see how that works? So say, for instance, Diana wins all this money. Diana tells her friend, Rachel. Rachel may be excited and, happy for Diana, but then Rachel tells her no good cousin, Tyrone, "Oh, guess what? My friend Diana, she won all this money and she's doing something." So guess what Tyrone is going to do with his bunch? His bunch, Tyrone and his crew, may try to do something to Diana because now the information has tentacles, because you told someone with loose lips.
Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, that's what happened in that case too, because the girl that dated him, she just had her other girlfriend come and they put some knockout drops in his thing, but he didn't fall asleep.
Right.
So they called the boyfriend to come help them, and then the boyfriend was the one that ended up unaliving the dude. So maybe they didn't intend for that to happen, but the other people that they got involved didn't care about all of that.
Right. They intended just to knock him out
and rob him. Yeah.
And rob him, not to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
But you see how that works? So why are you telling people? Why are you displaying these things? Now, for me, when it comes to social media, unfortunately, I'm on the fence with social media, because I understand certain things need to get out of there, in terms of doing the urban suite, urban twos for change, mental health things. I have really reduced my personal stuff on social media. I really have, because to be perfectly honest, it is no one's business. It really isn't, So it's sort of like no one knew my son. He went to South Africa. There were no pictures. I didn't say anything. I just, I'm just very careful, releasing information.
Do you think that's a generational thing?
I don't know, because a lot of Gen Xers do it as well. I mean, I think it is based on several things. I think it's based on how you were brought up. So say, for instance, if you didn't have much as a child and then you accumulate things as an adult, you may want to share that information to show the world, see, look what I have accomplished. I didn't have this growing up, but now I have this. This is what I have done. So you share this information because it is a testament to perhaps your hard work. It is a testament to what you have endured. It can be a testament to your resilience. But I think the main thing is, what is your motive? And the thing is, you need to be very discerning who you share it with. Now, also with my Facebook, if anyone goes on my personal Facebook, you realize that my numbers are very small, 777 people. Those people I have had contact with personally. I know them personally, either through school, either through work, either through the neighborhood, either growing up, friends, family. So it's kind of close knit. I just don't accept anyone that I don't know. I delete a lot of people from my personal Facebook, whereas a lot of people don't.
Yeah, see, Facebook though, it really messes that up though, because it makes you connected to everybody and everything that's going on though. Like, because even when you're say you're on your personal page on Facebook, everybody else that's on Facebook that ever heard of you or they all know that you're on Facebook right now. So now they can go message you and involve you in conversations, add you to groups. You're saying, here, let's put Dr. Lisa in this group.
I don't usually do right now. Maybe they changed it, but you have to always, for me, how my settings are, because you can fix your settings however you want to. My settings is basically I have to personally accept certain things. And all the groups that I belong to, they have administrators that vet me. So say, for instance, I'm on Hampton University alumni. So they're going to vet me. They're going to look probably at my LinkedIn. They're going to probably look at whatever, or they may see how many people I know, that they may know how many mutual people are, so they may do that. But for the most part, you really have to understand that people that you within your network, those can be the most dangerous people, the people in your network. And you have to really understand and be very discerning. Number one, not everyone is your friend. Not everyone is your friend. And this is something that I was taught while in my master's program, talking about boundaries when it comes to working with clients and what are the boundaries. And something that my professor said, your friend is someone that you would invite to the movies with you. If you don't want to invite that person to the movies with you, they are not your friend. And to me, that's just a simple concept that I have really learned and really have adopted in my life. You have associates, you have colleagues, and you have friends. And I can count on, I would say, one hand. I have one best friend. One best friend. That's it.
She the one you went to the thing with,
that is correct. Yeah. Yep.
The Essence Festival.
Yep.
But see, look, you skipped over a little bit of the generational stuff because now
Mhm.
everything's about, you heard the term clout chasing, right?
Clout chasing? No, what's
Yeah,
that?
that's like when people just, I did it for the gram. You heard that expression? They did it for
Oh, yeah,
Instagram.
right. Yes.
Because they're doing stuff specifically just to get engagement and likes. Still say stuff that's not true just to get engagement and likes. Like he put on that Rolex and was sitting up in
And
the
it was fake.
pool, right? Because he wanted to get the likes and the engagement. Nobody had to know about any of that stuff. It was all fake anyway. But
Right.
people do that so that they could get attention and stuff like that.
I think
Yes.
social media has made it worse. It has really
Yeah, they want you.
exaggerated.
Yeah.
It has really exaggerated pride in a sense.
Mhm.
It really has. It has taken pride, it has taken lustful desires on a whole different level because people really believe that because you don't have likes, that people don't like you. Like they really take it as a personal affront that the more likes you have, the more likable you are. Our generation, we didn't have that. We just had our friends in a phone book and you called
Yeah.
them and you did whatever and you invite them over to a party, or if you didn't get invited to a party, you did. But now it's like, oh my gosh, I only have, and what has happened as a result of social media is our self-worth is based on how many friends we have. Our self-worth is based on how many likes we have. Our self-worth is based on what we can display via social media. And it has really gotten out of hand to the point where people right now are dying, they're being killed, because there are very evil people who don't want to see you progress, and they don't understand their purpose in life. And I think it's really important to understand that your lane and your purpose is for you and mine is for me. Let me not concentrate and look at and be so involved in what you have that I neglect my purpose for what I have. Because what happens is you're going to miss out on a lot of things in life. You're going to miss out on positive relationships. You're going to miss out on positive opportunities. You're going to miss out on so much because you're so focused on someone else. And what do I always say about being focused? What you focus on will grow. So if you're focused on someone else's achievements, if you're focused on someone else's accomplishments, if you're focused on all of that, what they have done and all this other stuff, and you're not focused on what you have been slated to do in the here and now, you're going to miss out on a lot, and you're going to end up being a very bitter person. And you're going to end up being a person filled with hate.
Well, see, this society encourages the oversharing and stuff because from a lot of different aspects, from like even entertainers, a lot of entertainers that were big to us and that were big during our generation and stuff like that, they don't really make any noise on social media, and it's to their detriment. You know what I mean? Because they don't engage on social media and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, they can't sell their music and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like they have to overshare their regular personal. They can't just make it about the music and people be happy that they come out with a song every once in a while. They want all the dramatics and stuff in between. They want all the what you're doing in between. That's what they like. That's what today's society wants.
Right. So it's so interesting because it's sort of like I haven't seen him in a while, but Cory Booker. So, you know, Cory Booker, he was on TikTok. I haven't seen him in a while.
I see him on Twitter. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I would, email or tweet, whatever. What do you say when you message? Tweet. No, not Twitter, but
DM.
I'm sorry, TikTok. He was on TikTok. So I would go back, on TikTok. But I have to say what he talked about was just things about life, not things about him. So he would be walking and say, today's a beautiful day. Now, he's a politician. So today's a beautiful day. And how are you all doing today? And so and so, so and so. So he wasn't really talking about him moving in a sense and where he's going. He was really attempting to encourage people and not focused on himself to say, well, let me focus on what I've done so that you can be encouraged. He's just really focused on basically, you know what, today's a great day, take advantage of it, call someone, tell someone that you love them, and da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, that's positive.
That's very positive.
But on the opposite side of that, you have people that just have whole channels devoted to, here, watch me eat this new food that I never tried before.
And people
and you're not even saying anything. They're just actually eating food. And you're just listening to them and watching them eat food and see if they like it or not.
Right.
Now, what does that have to do with you? And so, like, now, don't get me wrong. I like it when some other people, like people from different countries and stuff, they come over and then they try barbecue food for the first time and all that. And they try soul food and they try oxtails and stuff like that for the first time. It is entertaining and stuff. But that type of oversharing is very much encouraged. And it goes completely against what that guy, Ben Meir, who made the little list that we're taking this from. He talked about self-care. Let me just show the video real quick.
Okay.
If I could.
11 If, Then Algorithms for Self-Care by Ben Meir. Tip number 1. 1. If you're pursuing a goal, then avoid telling people. It releases cheap dopamine and tricks your brain into thinking you've already achieved it, lowering motivation. Move in silence.
All right, so I agree with some of what he was saying, Ben Meir, but I don't agree with the other part. And what I don't agree with is basically he was saying that if you tell people it's a cheap form of dopamine, and we talked about dopamine before, and that's that feel good, like, like the like. As soon as you get a like, you're like, oh, the dopamine releases dopamine. It's kind of addictive, but it's cheap. It's not the real thing. And basically what he's saying is it's not the real thing. And then you lose motivation because it's a cheap form. It's artificial dopamine. I don't find that to be the case. I don't know if that's a cultural thing, but I know for me and the culture that I deal with, I think the issue is not that you lower your motivation. The issue is you have a lot of haters out there.
Yeah, but explain how you hype yourself up. Explain how that sometimes works to, like, when you say it, you speak it into existence and stuff.
Right. So there's a thing called sort of like a self-fulfilling prophecy. So self-fulfilling prophecy is whatever you speak, you're putting those words out there because those words are powerful. Those words have energy. Those words can impact your environment. So if you keep saying to yourself, I'm nobody, I'm nothing, I'm nobody, I'm nothing, you're going to train your brain to believe that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to display behavior that coincides with you being a nobody, I'm nothing, nobody, I'm nothing. So what happens is because you're saying it over and over and over again, your brain is processing that information. Your brain is processing that information. Now what's going to happen is you're going to display behavior that goes in line with what you're saying. So that's sort of self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you kept saying over and over and over again, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this, you're going to exercise your brain to believe that, and then you're going to start to move in that area. This, I kid you not, sometimes you tell others to hold you accountable. Yes, but you tell people to hold you accountable, and it's very discerning. You don't just do that with anyone. You know who's going to hold you accountable because you know that you're not going to tell the yes person or the yes man to hold you accountable. Everything that you do is fine. Everything that you do, whatever. So yes, you do tell some people to hold you accountable, and that's a good motive. Again, you have to look at what is the motivation? What is the why? If the why is so that the person can hold me accountable, that's fantastic. However, that person truly has to hold you accountable. So if you miss a step, that person has to tell you, and you can't get offended. So, it's very interesting. Yes, like an exercise part. Absolutely. Absolutely. You set a goal and you say, okay, so this is my goal. I want to wear a size 8 when you're a size 14 by a certain date. You tell that person, and then they may check in. How are you doing? What are you eating? How are you feeling? What are you working on? There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, say for instance, if you tell someone, yeah, I want to get into a size 8. I got to get into a size 8. They may not be very helpful for you or to you, because what they can also do is they can start to plant seeds for your failure. They can make these little snide remarks. Well, I don't know if you would look good in the 8. I don't think. And then guess what? That came out in the universe, in a sense, in your ear gate, and now you're second guessing yourself. And then if you hear that voice over and over and over again, you're going to tell yourself, yeah, no, maybe I shouldn't do a size 8. And then guess what? You're going to display behaviors that will get you not to your size 8. And that's why you have to be very discerning who you share information with. You have to be very, very discerning, because not everyone, they have good intentions. And I believe, and I'm Curtis, you may think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I believe, I believe that there are people out there that are witches. And I believe that people can try to impede or stop your progress based on their witchery. I believe that.
Well, it goes into what you were saying too, just about like just people just being haters and what they call trolls. You know what I mean? People that are just online just to be negative. They want to stir up chaos in your life, so they're going to like try to knock you down every time you say something, even if it's positive. I'm sure even on Cory Booker, where he was posting all that positive stuff, there's probably somebody in there hating on him. You know what I mean? In the comments.
Actually, it's not. It's
oh no, okay.
No, it's not. It's very positive, which is interesting. But yeah, so that's where the self-care is. The self-care is the one thing that, like I said, you have to really be mindful of is having the spirit of discernment. And what that is there's something inside of you that says, don't share this information with her. Don't share that information with him. Oh, hello, Felicia. Yes. Don't share that information with her. Now is not the time, because sometimes we move ahead of time. And when you move ahead of time, you mess things up. And when you are operating in that spirit of discernment, there's a little voice that says, you know what? I'm not going to tell this person that, because it's just, they're not the right person. It's not the right timing. And I know I'm not the only one that experiences that. Does anyone out there experience that? Like, no, I'm not going to tell this person, or I'm not going to say anything at this point. Yeah. I don't know. Does that happen to you?
Yeah, because it also goes in line with, when people say like, oh, let's not talk about that because it might jinx it or something like that. And that's because, you don't think it's going to help. But in this environment, you're not really encouraged to not share. Like, you're encouraged to overshare, actually. You know what I mean? Like that's, you get the, let's be real here. Like, you get money too from having engagement. So it doesn't matter what kind of engagement it is. It could be negative and all that stuff. But a lot of people thrive off of that. They thrive off of that negative engagement and people just looking at you do stupid stuff. That's why there's all the pranks and all the goofy behavior. Here we have another comment.
Okay, I experience that frequently. I actually heard myself say it out loud. Say what out loud, Felicia? For sure, I have my inner circle, and even then I'm selective. Right. That is so true. You have to be very selective. So Felicia, what did you say out loud? Did you say, Felicia, don't share that information, girl? Like, did you say that out loud? Because I know, like I said, for me, don't tell them that. Yes, don't tell them that. Zip it. And remember, I talked about the difference between, zip it. Mm-hmm. Remember, I talked about the difference between reacting and responding. That is the difference. When you hear that inner voice say, don't tell them that. Don't say it. Don't say a word. Don't say a word. That's right. Don't share that. That's right. Don't share it. Just zip it. And that goes to something that I talked about a while ago about meekness and how powerful it is to be meek. Oftentimes we look at meekness as a weakness, but it really isn't. You have to know who to disclose information to, because oftentimes people don't mean you well. They really don't. It's sad, but it's true. It really is. So you have to be selective. Mm-hmm.
Misery likes company. Remember, misery loves company. That's why, because there's people that's unhappy. So they don't like other people being happy. Sometimes they're like, man, why are they up here all smiling and happy all the time? You know what I mean? Like, let me help them take that down a notch.
Right. And sometimes they wear a mask. Mm-hmm. They wear a mask showing that they are happy. They wear that mask of that smiling face. But once
laughing all the time.
Right. But once they remove that mask, their real intention is revealed. And it may not be for your good intentions, So you have to be, like I said, very discerning, very, very discerning. And you have to know who to share what with and when, because also it's about timing. It really is. And unfortunately, a lot of people, they are too trusting. People are too trusting. And I'm not saying go around being paranoid and don't trust anybody, but,
it is what it is, I guess, right?
It is what it is. It is what it is.
But again, I do think there is a little bit of a generational thing where, because we didn't need that outside validation coming from Generation X and stuff like that. We didn't necessarily need that validation. But the people that's coming up in Generation Z, that's all they know. They grew up on social media. Their whole formative years was, on social media. So that's how they're judged. Mm-hmm. They're very aware of and even in other countries, like I hear in China, they have that social media thing where you have to be at a certain social standing in order to go to a restaurant sometimes, stuff like that. Have you heard about that?
I haven't, but to go in line with what you're saying, I'm curious as to the increase of the suicide rate with this generation. Because of the pressures of social media. I think there is an increase in the rate of young adults, kids, children, taking their lives because of the pressures of social media, and I think it's very disheartening. Bridget said, absolutely. Yes, it's very disheartening. Hi, Jesse. Good evening. Good evening. Yes, it's very disheartening because what you have now, I just saw a statistic that said that the Black community, our suicide rate has surpassed the white community when it comes to suicidal ideations, as well as actually killing ourselves. And it's from a younger generation, of course. And I really believe social media has definitely plays a huge part in that happening. And when it comes to self-care, you really don't have a handle on self-care if you're sharing a lot of information and the person that you're sharing the information with wants to do you harm, because they're going to show their colors eventually. That's not self-care. And I know sometimes you really want to share that information. I know sometimes you really want to share the good news. I know sometimes you really want to share, your next move. You want to share that you're buying a car, or you're buying property, or you're buying a whatever it is. You may want to share, but you may want to operate in the spirit of discernment and just zip your lips and don't be trusting.
Listen, people nowadays, they even be like these young folks, they out here sharing crimes on video. Like they filming themselves crimes and stuff like that. We were so paranoid back in the day. We used to have codes on our beepers and stuff just to because we always thought the government was listening on a landline. Like that was just how it was. People were like, don't use my government name, call me by my nickname and stuff like that. Just don't be. That's how people always were in my generation and whatever up here. But nowadays, people so flagrant with what it's called clout chasing. They're on social media chasing for clout so that they can look bigger and they can look like their life is bigger and more exciting than it really is and stuff. And they're rewarded. Let's be for real. Like they're rewarded even down to like the first internet rappers, like Soulja Boy and them. He did that like from his house. Like back in the day, you couldn't become no entertainer from your house. He never performed nowhere. You know what I mean? He never did anything, but he became a huge sensation just because of being online and posting stuff.
Who was the artist? I think he was a rapper that displayed a lot of money, and they went to his house and robbed him. Pop Smoke.
Oh yeah, Pop Smoke. Yeah, he died.
Pop Smoke. Yes.
But remember them
party, and I think he even displayed his home address. And
or his girlfriend or somebody.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what?
Yeah, I know a lot of people have been gotten through. Oh, I'm here, I'm doing this, da da da, and then somebody says, "Yo, such and such is over at the thing in your neighborhood," and then they go check them.
Right. So now what you're saying and doing is you're no longer sharing it with 2 people. You're sharing it with 10,000 people at the same time for the most part. And all of those 10,000 people who follow you, all of those 10,000 people who are your friends, all of those 10,000 people, some of them hate you.
Yeah. Remember that Bishop, them 2 preachers up in like Harlem or wherever, and they had all of the jewelry and stuff, and they got robbed of like a couple $1 million worth of jewelry, but they were on there flaunting the jewelry, and every time they got on there, you saw them with the jewels and the gold and stuff. So people just kept watching and find out where they're going to be at, and then they got them.
Right. And I think also when it comes to self-care, just like with, the pastors and whatever, that used to be unheard of. Yes.
Us snitching on ourselves.
Right. I got this. I got all this bling bling, but they actually did that. Remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous?
Well, true. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They had
Robin Leach.
Robin Leach. Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. You would go through the person's house, and I kind of think that that's where that started. Social media can be like opening up portals, and people are off. They are awful. They are already opening up a portal. They are awful. But yeah, getting back to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? I think that was like the start of this whole, this is what I had.
Bragging and like
bragging and all this other stuff. And
Le-
what had
MTV Cribs, MTV Cribs, and then if you look years later, you realize most of the people did not live in those houses that they were in, that they were
did
saying on
not.
MTV Cribs.
They
They
were
did
it
not
was
live there. They were rented.
all of 6, 7 people lived in the same place, whatever. They didn't
Yeah.
pimp my ride. Yeah, pimp my ride.
Again, the landscape has been set against this younger generation to where they've been encouraged to overshare because that's what makes YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. That's what makes them run. That's what makes them get revenue is because of more people looking at stuff.
Right.
So it's like they encouraging you to overshare.
Right.
So that the conversation hasn't been there to like say, all right, look, calm down for self-care. Y'all need to maybe just keep certain things quiet, keep it to yourselves and stuff like that. Like, I don't think this information gets out a lot to them.
It has allowed pride to run amok. It has allowed pride to run amok. And I believe as a result, you see more people being unalived, more people are displaying their hate, more people, it's just awful. And these young people don't understand one post can lead to tragedy. Yes, they just had a senior cut.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And
I saw that.
Showed up at a park and 5 of them, oh my God.
Yeah, because they were there to have a senior cut day to have a water gun fight. But then somebody brought some real guns to the water gun fight.
Are you serious, Bridget? Oh my gosh.
That might have been in Chicago. I'm not really sure. It might have been, it might have been in Chicago.
That is something else. So yes, I'm telling you. So just, operate in the spirit of discernment. Don't be sharing all this information about what you have, where you're going, what you're going to do. When it materializes, at that point, if you want to say, bam, this is it. That's what you know. But yeah, no. Absolutely not. PG County. Oh, PG County. Oh, wow. PG County, Maryland. That's Prince George's County, Maryland. That is about 10 minutes or so outside of Washington, D.C. That is the neighboring county outside of D.C. I'm very familiar with PG County. My mom lives in PG County. So it's
it might have been innocent to start with because it was supposed to just be a big water gun fight or whatever. But with the availability of weapons and stuff out there, somebody had a real gun.
Right. So, Bridget, is this cut day, was this authorized by the school in a sense, or did the students take it upon themselves to cut?
I think the students took it upon themselves and it just got out of hand because remember, again, social media, they just posted it. Hey, we're going to be at such and such having a water gun fight. And then all somebody else on social media saw was gun and then they came in the location and they came with a real gun. So. I don't know. But that's the dangers of modern day social media.
Right. It does
the
nothing.
Tradition, she said.
Right. Not authorized, but tradition. Oh.
But it got out of control.
Stop that tradition.
Oh yeah.
They may have to and transfer it to something else that's kind of authorized or something else that I don't know. I mean, you want the kids, the students to have fun. It's near the end of the school year.
Right.
But not at the detriment of someone's life. And what are those things called? Those flash mobs? Like those whole
flash mob.
Yeah, it's just terrible. So yeah, so you definitely need to understand what is your motivation for sharing the information. Are you doing it because you generally are happy about it and you're grateful? Are you doing it out of pride to show that you have, I have this, I have that, I have all of this? Are you doing it also to make the other person that you're telling to belittle them? Are you doing it as a form of encouragement? What is your motive for sharing that information? Also, you need to understand discernment about the timing of when you share it. When you share this information, it's important to understand the timing. The timing may be off. The timing may not be right. And you have to know also, who are you sharing this information with? Are they really a close, trusted friend or an associate, a colleague, a frenemy? Who are these people? Strangers that you just met 5 minutes ago? I mean, who, what, why? Because at the end of the day, it's about your self-care. So if you're really operating with prideful intentions, that's not self-care. Self-care is, you really want to encourage someone, but also self-care is understanding mindfulness and understanding, okay, what is my motive for sharing this information with someone? What is my motive? Am I really here to encourage them? Am I really here to big up myself and what I have and my accomplishments? What is my motive? And when you understand that, hopefully you will listen to that inner voice that says, now is not the time to share. This is not the person to share this with. This is not, no, just keep it to yourself. Because that inner voice will guide you and you have to listen to it. It's that hunch that you feel in the pit of your stomach. If you're not a Christian, that's what you feel. For me, I consider it the Holy Spirit telling me, no, don't share this information with this person. No, this is not the right time. No, don't do it. Now, I don't know why I'm not meant to share the information with the person, but trust me, when that inner voice speaks, pay attention to it. Take heed, pay attention to it, be obedient to it, because you just never know. Again, it may not be that person that you share that information with. It may be their friend that they innocently tell their buddy, oh yeah, this person has this, that person has that, oh, that person has that. And they may do it kind of innocently, but the intention of that person that they've now told, they don't know you. They don't care anything about you, and they want what's yours.
Yeah.
So, all right. So
just to let you give you a heads up for next week, we're going to be talking about the next thing for a tip for self-care.
Oh, brain health. Oh, that's deep.
We're talking about brain health next week.
Brain health is very, very deep, because when I think of brain health, the first thing that I think about is dementia. Like, that's what brain health. So that's going to be interesting. Brain health. We're going to talk about brain health. Now, I'm not going to really get into dementia because that is really not my wheelhouse. It is in a sense, because I did study a lot about it, but it's talking about brain. Woof.
Yeah.
Woo.
But it also gets into what what you've discussed on the show before, and with your new little water thing, because it talks about hydration and nutrition and exercise and sleeping enough and getting the right stimulation and getting the right amount of oxygen to your brain and stuff like that too.
Yes, absolutely.
So just physically making your brain healthy is good too.
Kelly Bowman would be very.
Oh yeah, she'd be proud of you.
Very happy with Lisa. You'd be very happy with me, Kelly. Oh my gosh, yes, Kelly. So yeah.
But it might even tie in a little bit with what you've talked about a lot, experiencing like with the brain fog because of COVID and stuff like that too. So we do have a lot of these issues that might be brain health related versus sometimes mental health related. It might just be like a lack of sleep, like you're not in a mood or whatever. It's because you didn't drink enough water. You know what I mean? And you might not have the right amount of nutrition.
And you know what is so important to brain health? This is interesting.
What is that?
Sleeping with the right pillow.
Oh yeah.
Make certain you have the right pillow for your sleeping habit.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
The right shaped pillow too. The right
Right,
shaped
that's
pillow.
what I mean. Yes, the right shaped pillow, the right firmness, texture, all of that stuff, especially as you get older,
Yeah.
is very important. You can't do them cheap pillows. Oh, thank you, Jesse. Thank you. All right, so my urbanites, listen, operating the spirit of discernment. Zip your lip. Zip it. Remember when you were in school and your teacher's like, okay, lips zipped. I used to literally in my mind see a zipper.
Yeah. That's right.
Thinking cap, like the.
You strap your thinking cap on.
I used to actually put on in my mind, put on a thing and tie the bottom and have this little thinking cap with my lips zipped and like, Oh, thank you, Felicia. Thank you. Also,
look, they got an emoji for it.
Oh, listen. Oh, there you go. That's right. that's what I envision. Zip it.
Yeah.
Listen, if you want to be on the show live, have your face up here when Sean is on the show. That's going to be May. When is that show? May.
Because we got one more April show, so it's going to be 4 weeks from now.
Right. May 21st. If you want to be on the May 21st show and be live and be a special guest with us, we're going to have fun. You're going to ask questions. It's going to be fun. I need you to email me. What is the email address? Put up the email address.
Okay, we have it right here.
Yes, urban2sforchange@gmail.com. urban2sforchange@gmail.com. If you want to be a guest on the show, my urbanites, we want to see your face, not just see your words. We want to see your face, experience the beauty of your face. Want to see that. urban2sforchange@gmail.com. Just send a note to say, I'm interested in being on the show. That will trigger us to send you the link so you can actually be on the show with myself and Sean on Tuesday, May 21st, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. So I encourage you, if you got to do your Rocky thing, dun, 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 to prepare yourself to be, on the camera and everything, go ahead.
It'll be fun. Yeah. They've been in Zoom meetings before. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I know my urbanites. Yes, I have a great crowd. Shout out to the urbanites. Shout out to Bridget, Felicia, Jesse, Leslie, Raquel. Who else usually comes on? Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Ms. Marvis Brown too. I know
Marvis,
she checks us out.
Yes. Shout out to Marvis. Yes. Absolutely. Shout out to Sean. He'll watch it later. I don't know what he's doing. Listen, before we go, oh my gosh, I'm getting hot now because I had this coffee. This has nothing to do with this topic, but did you hear the Chris Brown diss track?
No, I didn't hear it. I just heard about it, and I heard because he's dissing Quavo or something over some girlfriends and all this other stuff, right? Like ex-girlfriends.
Oh my God.
You listened to it?
I did.
Oh Lord. Is he rapping or singing?
He's rapping.
That's what I thought. They shared the words of it. I didn't.
So maybe I'll talk about it. My take on it on Friday. We'll come live on Friday.
Yeah, there's a lot of little stuff going on behind the scenes of Kendrick Lamar and Drake and all this other stuff.
Oh, yes. Awful. But I mean, we did that back in the day too. But unfortunately, it was very disastrous.
Yeah.
And it's just, I hope that generation does not follow the footsteps.
Repeat, yeah.
Yes, does not follow the footsteps of our generation with diss tracks. So I based on what I heard, I don't know how Quavo is going to outdo that, aside from walking on water Seriously, walking on water, doing backflips.
Yeah, I think he came out with something like today or something, or yesterday, because I saw something on Twitter about it. I didn't hear anything good, but I think he did respond. So we'll see. By Friday, we'll know.
Yes,
Okay.
by Friday we'll know. All right, so my urbanites, thank you for tuning in into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon, where you laugh, learn, cry, and grow. Remember, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then after the show, you can find me on the audio podcast, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Samsung. So definitely, and to my audience in Australia, y'all still rocking and rolling with me. Canada has surpassed you, Australians. Oh my gosh. It's United States.
Give and take.
Canada, Australia. Shout out. Whoever you are in the land down under, thank you for listening and tuning in to the Urban Suite. So on that note, Molly, take us away.